Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Anonymous, and here's her story. Hey, Ollie, please don't use my name. Thanks for your awesome channel. I've listened over the years, and have had this has helped greatly because I was confused for a long time as to why I was always treated like garbage and could never get anything right growing up and had to be beaten, or how I was always a horrible person to the guys that I went out with, even though I would do anything for them when we were together. I can't tell you my whole story in one sitting, but I thought yesterday to send a small part of it that I thought you could definitely shed some insight on. I was 6 months pregnant with my second child, and I had lost everything because of my ex. My first child had to live at my aunt's, and I had to live at my parents' house, who are hoarders and who did not want me to be there at their house, much less another baby. They said that my mere presence was messing up their daily routine. My parents were pushing me towards adoption because they didn't want to have to make room for my son. Their house is huge, by the way. I mean, it's 2-story with 4 bedrooms, a basement, a garage. It's a big place. Me and the baby would be fine to stay in one of the bedrooms, and they have 2 rooms that no one is staying in and are both full of their stuff and have bought from garage sales. What is something that is very confusing to me is if they didn't want me or my son there, then why would they go to charity clothes drives and get clothes for my baby? Because it's about the Hoard. Look, the Hoard doesn't make sense what it is. They'll grab anything. They'll use any excuse to hoard and then turn around and blame you. Whenever you see those hoarding shows, okay, when they're cleaning out these hoarders' houses and the family's there, and that fucking hoarder, who's really just a borderline personality, okay, is standing there with that dead eyes saying, well, it's your fault I got to keep my own toenails because that time in 1979 when you said something, that's how this works. It doesn't have to make sense. It's just to be used against you. It's your fault, so then it'll be your fault that their house is hoarded out. We told you the entire time we didn't want you there, but you were so insistent they wanted you there so they could blame you for it. That's exactly what they did, though. They would be happy to go to garage sales or church charity functions and get cheaper free things from my baby. They would then come home with the stuff they had gotten and have an appointment set up for me to meet with a woman from a Christian adoption ministry. That was seriously evil, I felt, because when you start preparing for the arrival of a new baby, you can't help but to get excited. So why get me all excited when you're trying to force me into adopting the baby? I get the whole, because you're not allowed to have anything. See, the clothes aren't yours, they're theirs. You're not allowed to bring anything into the Hoard. It's all for them. Even your own child. Your parents get a charge out of taking other things that people don't want. They're just trying to give somebody else that charge with your baby. Disgusting. I get the whole hoarding as a means to control others, at least I think I do, but there is something the whole acquiring useless garbage. Not only would they get stuff from my son, but they would get free clothes for themselves every week, to the point that my parents' bedroom, they have 5 dressers with even more clothes that have to be set on top of the dressers. They would also have a walk-in closet that's chock full of clothes from the 80s and 90s. It's insane. The other thing they do is go to food pantries, multiple food pantries every week. They get expired food and it fills the entire kitchen. You can't do a load of laundry without first moving something from the food pantry. Another obsession of my dad's is firewood. Half their backyard is taken up by firewood. They also refuse to use the air conditioning or the furnace even in really bad months. They just sweat it out and make fires when it's cold. This behavior is so whacked out to me. Do you think it's possible to be narcissistic and have some mental disorder on top of it? Yes, definitely. Without question. I mean, like I said, none of this makes sense. Like firewood is something that in his crazy mind they can justify for when they turn all the heat off and furnaces go away for some reason. But this is how they do it. It's about control. Why would you want to live like a slob? It's such a nice house that my dad worked so hard to buy. My mom will ask him if she can donate stuff back to charity, and he will cut her head off. She will still be right there with him every week at the food pantry and the charity clothing store to get even more stuff, even though she later complains that she wants to keep a cleaner house. I left their house and was able to go to a homeless shelter. I had my baby. He is 13 months now and doing great. When he was born, my parents started a rumor that this baby had a different dad than my daughter, and that's why he cheated on me while I was pregnant, and why my ex took all my stuff and poor him. That sucked when they did that because everyone else in my family started to question me, and it was insane, really, because my son looks just like his dad. When it came time to leave the homeless shelter because my time was up, we were allowed to stay for 1 year at this particular homeless shelter. My dad calls me on the phone and he starts begging me to move into his place with my 2 kids. I was like, well, you were pretty nasty to us. My folks were not very helpful to me while I was in the homeless shelter, and they treated me like garbage my whole life. So, of course, I was hesitant. Oh. So he didn't want you until you had to leave the homeless shelter. Until he could pick you up like garbage, that somebody else's stuff that nobody else wanted. He didn't want you until he could literally hoard you. Right? He's just trying to make you a part of his hoard. They don't want anything that just shows up. They got to go find it. I kind of went blank in my head and wasn't sure what to do because the alternative to moving into their house was to move with my 2 small children to the inner city. I'm not a stupid person, but I forgot all the terrible things and was actually considering staying with these people. Actually, I forget things time and time again that abusive people in my life do to me, and I don't know why. Then when I go back around them, I get all surprised when they do the terrible crap to me all over again. Less than 12 hours, my dad took back the offer and said that if we moved in, it would give my little sister seizures. My little sister is the golden child and is mentally challenged. She could be quite nasty to everyone who is around her. So they have a mentally challenged, I imagine she's older, child living in the house, and they're hoarding it out. They're hoarding it out so they don't have to deal with your sister. That's why they're doing that. She could be quite nasty to everyone who's around her because of the position she has in our family. She's awful, and guess what? She hates my kids. Go figure. I'm not a dumb girl. Actually, for the first time in my life, I'm beginning to feel better about myself. I've been away from the father of my kids, and I've been taking care of my kids all alone. I scored a killer job, and I go to school online. I've had a lot of success with my school and everything else that I've been doing since everything happened to me to make me flee my home. A story for another day, I think. So anyways, I hope you can shed some light on my parents and what the point was to offer me a place to stay only to take it away. Because here's why, okay? Once you were making the decision whether or not to come there or not, they were no longer had control. Once you took the control away from the hoarder, they don't want you Do you understand? Once you were vulnerable, just laying there like something to be picked up and garbage picked. That's what they want. Once you showed to them, like, oh, you're still going to make this about your decision, no, then they don't want any part of it. Do you understand? Do you understand? Because he was just trying to make you another part of the Hoard. That's it. Once you started pushing back and making like it was going to be partly your decision, they don't want you anymore. They want to be able to select you off the trash heap and take you back. No choice. Control is all theirs. It would also be good to understand why they need to acquire so much crap they never use. Thanks for your work, and I hope the channel remains strong for a long time. Because it's control. And everything they acquire, I guarantee you, they will turn around and eventually blame you for the reason why they had to take it. I explained that earlier. Whenever you watch them, when you're cleaning, it's everyone else's fault why they got to keep a bag of toenails or magazines from 1997. It's your fault. It's your fault. You get mad. Remember you like it and then you got mad. I don't want you to get... That's how it works. But in your case specifically, he just saw the opportunity, saw you sitting out on the curb, and just was going to make you part of his Hoard. That's it. It's as simple as that. So, I hope that helps. Thank you for your contribution and story. I really appreciate it, Anonymous. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like a private video made, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this with someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all of this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been The Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.